Do you believe that Pops stood in the way of Mavis Staples' success? Because reading this book, Pops was very overbearing, and the girls were too pressed to please their pappy. You know that's your father, right? You know that's not your nigga. Oh, my life, if you have not already done so, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and tip your favorite narrator via Cash App at $NayRob on YouTube. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Remember, for those of you who are dog lovers, I post something about the dogs on the Patreon or the paying members community wall at least once a week, okay? Because you hear the dogs in the background. You should at least see them when they ain't bombarding the show. Let's continue reading Mavis Staples. You know, one of you all sent me this autographed book. I can't remember who it was. Thank you. Crafts now aim to pair the Staples singer with their old Chicago crony, Curtis Mayfield, who was writing and recording solo albums, overseeing movie soundtracks, and producing other artists on the Custom label, a Warner subsidiary. Mayfield was one of the pillars of Chicago soul in the 1960s, crafting a series of civil rights anthems for his group, The Impressions, including Keep On Pushing, People Get Ready, and We're a Winner. In the 70s, Mayfield shifted into a solo career and began delivering urban operas steeped in funk and gritty realism, such as the soundtrack for the blaxploitation movie Superfly. He also collaborated with distinctive vocalists, including Gladys Knight and Aretha Franklin, on movie soundtracks, and he relished the idea of partnering with Mavis Staples and her family on a 1975 project he had in the works. Pause. How you ain't gonna just mention, okay, you mentioned Aretha Franklin, but why you ain't mentioned Sparkle? He did Superfly, Claudine, and Sparkle. All three soundtracks are freaking amazing. He also collaborated with distinctive vocalists, including Gladys Knight on Claudine and Aretha Franklin, Sparkle, on movie soundtracks, and he relished the idea of partnering with Mavis Staples and her family on a 1975 project he had in the works, the soundtrack to the Sidney Poitier Bill Cosby movie Let's Do It Again. Though the film was a comedy, Mayfield said he was inspired to write the title song when smitten by the opening scene featuring actress Jayne Kennedy. Y'all, Jayne Kennedy has a book. I would love to read the book. However, I hate it when they come from a perspective of I've just grew from my mistakes. And it's not that I want to be like, ooh, this is the tea. I I want to hear what the hell Leon Kennedy did to her and how much drama she had with Leon Kennedy. Because don't forget, Leon Kennedy was hovering around some pimps, okay? And I need to know that information because nobody really talks about him. Both of them then turned their life over to God. But still, Jayne Kennedy, I just want to know what your life was like as one of the most beautiful black women of the 70s and 80s. Don't just write, oh, I made some mistakes. No, keep that bullshit to yourself. We want realness and honesty. Not like I said, I was trying to give y'all that Tina Knowles book, but the paying member said, answer the fuck no. What do you think about us putting Jayne Kennedy's book on the list? Though the film was a comedy, Mayfield said he was inspired to write the title song when smitten by the opening scene featuring actress Jayne Kennedy. Its lyrics were fairly explicit, especially by the standards of mid-70s commercial radio. I'm not a girl that could linger, but I feel like a butterfinger. Let's do it again. I'm going to say, one of you all, please forgive me for not knowing who said it, but some of y'all are so kind, so gentle when it comes to me. Like, y'all know that I don't know everything, and sometimes I get things wrong. And y'all, this commenter posed the question to me, well, Nay, was that their only secular song? And you knew that was their only secular song. You was just being kind to me because you knew I didn't know. But indeed, Let's Do It Again was their only secular song. Only a few years earlier, in defending the Staples message-oriented songs against claims of sacrilege and sellout by the gospel police. Gospel police meaning James Cleveland and what's her name? Shirley Buckle Boots Caesar. Okay, that's the gospel police. Pops protested that all the songs in the group's Stax repertoire wouldn't sound out of place if performed in church. Not so with Let's Do It Again. Dressed up in Mayfield's Curtin recording studio on Chicago's Northwest Side with sensual strings, purring guitar, and keyboard lines atop a smoky groove. Let's Do It Again sounded it like bliss, even without the lyrics. The only secular song that we have ever sung was Let's Do It Again, and Pops didn't want to sing that, Mavis recalls. It took a lot of convincing by Curtis. Curtis wanted Pops to sing those lines. I like you, lady, so fine with your pretty hair. And Pops says, I'm a church man. I'm not singing that. Mayfield just smiled, his voice remaining low-key and calm as he assured the man he had once looked to for advice in the 50s. Oh, Pops, the Lord won't mind. It's just a love song. Pops knew Mayfield respected the Staples singer's legacy. Mayfield told author Craig Weiner, I don't know. So they, of course, made their crossover, but they always wanted their music to be inspirational. So their style didn't change too much. They simply found music that spread them out, allowed them to make a better living. And we all know that Pops ain't got no problems with making the money. Let me ask you all this. Do you believe that Pops stood in the way of Mavis Staples' success? Because reading this book, Pops was very overbearing, and the girls were too pressed to please their pappy. Okay? You know that's your father, right? You know that's not your nigga. They say a little girl's first boyfriend is her father. My first boyfriend was my grandfather. Mavis, Cleotha, and Yvonne, they simply loved the idea of their music showing up in a movie starring Cosby and Portier. Mavis laughs as she recalls the conversation. My sisters and I were hoping Curtis could convince him. We just wanted to hear our voices on the big screen. We were even begging Pops to sing it. So this is where I'm saying it's weird to me. Like, I don't even know why Pops was included in the song, even though they need that harmony. Like, I would have put him in the harmony part because, it all flowed well. But it's like two lovers singing to each other, when in actuality, it's a father and daughter. It's weird. Okay, and am I the only person that felt like it was weird? Now, it sounded great, okay, but it's weird. Not that anything is going on, but it is going on, because I feel that Pops was too controlling of his daughters. Let Purvis go out there and do whatever the hell he wanted. Cheat on his wife, open up nightclubs, all kinds of shenanigans, okay? But he just got his foot on his daughter's necks. And I believe that's part of the reason why they didn't have children. They were so busy worshiping their father that they could not have their own lives. It's fucking weird to me. And it happens with daughters and fathers, daughters and mothers, and mothers and sons. The song anchored an otherwise flimsy collection of Mayfield originals, including 3 instrumentals and 4 more Staples vocals performances in a similarly soft-core vein. Like, why does he have to say all of that? Oh, this damn writer gets on my nerves. It didn't matter. Let's Do It Again began selling at a pace of 40,000 a day after it was released in October 1975. Ended up selling more than 2 million copies and became the group's solo #1 hit. Next to Nancy Sinatra's These Boots Are Made for Walking and Petula Clark's Downtown. It ranked with the top selling hits in the label's history. The "It's Just a Little Love Song" argument worked, especially when Curtis told Pops how much money he might make if he said, "Oh, okay," says Bill Carpenter. The money changed it. Pops would perform that song right up till the last time I saw him in the 90s. Here in Washington, D.C., at an outdoor festival, he and Mavis sang the song and the audience went crazy. I don't know, y'all. I'm feeling a little funny. I'm kind of thinking that Pops is even worse than, what's his name? What's Aretha Father's name? Why can't of C.L. Franklin? I'm starting to think he's worse than that. God damn. Mavis made him realize it's not that big of a deal. Times are changing. People will accept this. He went for it. The Staples Singers celebrated by headlining 4 consecutive nights, October 23rd through 26, 1975, at Purvis's Place, 2 packed houses. Each night, the group sang "Let's Do It Again," and each night, the women would scream when Pops delivered his mellow mash note. "Now I like you, lady, so fine with your pretty hair." Okay, at 3:50 a.m. on January 13th, 1976, the Staples Singers arrived on the transcontinental flight at Jan Smuts Airport in Johannesburg, South Africa, the seat of apartheid, to play a series of concerts. Though the family was keenly aware of the South African government's racist policies, the Staples Singers were revered by the country's oppressed black population. In recent years, the Staples had scored a string of hits in South Africa. The Be Altitude album and the singles "I'll Take You There," "Respect Yourself," "Touch Your Hand," "Make a Friend," and "If You're Ready Come Go With Me had all gone gold. Now, I'm not going to get into that situation. We've read plenty of books that touched on those performers who decided to go over there and sing. I mean, some people just wanted to get to the money, but I believe the staple singers, they were there to make a difference. The Los Angeles premiere of the Sidney Poitier, Bill Cosby 1975 movie, Let's Do It Again, sprinkled Hollywood glitter atop the staple singers' run as hit makers. Pop stepped from the limo with mink-draped Mavis, Cleotha, and Yvonne, and fielded questions from Black Star magazine. You know, Pops. All I can see comes Daddy Rich with his mean limousine. People come from everywhere when he's on the scene. That's all I see. Is it my fault?
Oh,